ladies, and welcome back to the Daily Devotional. This is Heather Baxter with HP Ministries, and this is a place for you to believe, behold, and become all God has created you to be in whatever season of life. And we know that we're running this season out together. I use the word run because our April devotion is all about learning to run in such a way, running in a way to succeed and gain knowledge and really run the race God has set before us. And one true thing is that no matter what's going on right now, we're going to choose faith over fear. And so in all of our devotions for April, we are using my run book. Again, you don't need the run book to do it, but if you want to go into further devotion, I suggest you have it. If you have time to read more and journal more and write, then go ahead and order it. I'll get those out to you ASAP, no matter what. All right, so for today's devotion, it is on page 10 if you do have the book. And I'm going to just move this up a tad because I'm filming in my sunroom. So, all right, anyway, today's verse is 1 Timothy 4, 7 through 8. Let me kind of bring you around and show you in my book, if you guys can see that. And it says, train yourself to be godly, for physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. What can we get out of today's? What kind of golden nuggets can I share with you? First of all is train yourself to be godly. I spoke on that today. If you watch the live video over on YouTube from today's online Bible study, because we do weekly online Bible studies, I talk a lot about how when you dwell in the presence of the Lord, dwelling in the safety of the Almighty, that you are getting prepared right there. You're learning to train there because He's going to allow you to be secure and steadfast. He's going to bring rest, but He's going to also allow you to learn what He needs you to learn in that season. If we do not consecrate ourselves, which means set ourselves apart and be separate, then we miss out on that spiritual training. So same for somebody that's going to go and train for a marathon. You just don't show up at the start line and run your first 27 miles. There's no way. As a matter of fact, we had a training calendar, how many miles you ran during the week, and then what you ran on the weekends. The weekends were always your longer run, but you had a schedule and something that you could mark off. That's why I believe in the dailies, because in the daily Bible studies, you can mark off what you're doing during the week, and then on the weekends, you can mark off, and then we have weekly long Bible studies, and you can mark that off. So they're kind of like training goals to help you succeed in the spiritual realm. And when I say succeed, that means having godliness and valuing things over the circumstances in your life, because we all are going to have circumstances in our life that are going to be present, and we have to deal with those. How we deal with those is how we hold on to a promise. So we have to train into those promises so we can enjoy the present life we have here and the life to come. The Lord wants us to enjoy the present life we have here. He wants us to run it out. But the only way we're going to succeed is by dwelling in the Almighty, dwelling in His protection and in His presence. And so with today's, there was a few things I circled here. First of all, I circled train. And in a minute, I'm going to give you 5 points to how I think you can be training every day. But I also circled godliness. But godliness has value for all things. What does godliness mean? I think a lot of people get scared when we hear that. Like, oh my gosh, I'll never add up to that. Nobody does. But it's training and striving and working our muscles and our spiritual muscles to get better. So we can be blameless. And we won't damage our integrity in certain areas. And we can talk about areas of marriage. We can talk about a lot of things where the enemy can get in and ruin our integrity and damage relationships. So we want to be blameless. The way that we're going to be blameless is sitting in God's morals and His truth and His law. When we think of law, we think, oh my gosh, God made it that we have to do all this. No, He is wanting you to present your life and accomplish all of this so that you can hold on to these promises and enjoy life on this side of heaven, all His blessings. Our temperament, that's godliness. We talked about that in today's live Bible study, how our emotions and our attitude can go up and down based on a circumstance. And I gave a great illustration in there because of what we're going through right now in 2020. You know what it is. The pandemic that we're having is causing a lot of fear and anxiety, and our emotions to go up and down, our attitudes to go up and down. But when we train ourselves, we are training to be to help our temperament. We're training to control that. Godliness is how hospitable are you? How caring are you for others? Are you able to teach? That's godliness. Are you a role model to your children? Are you a role model to those around you? How are you teaching? And then I wrote down in, how are you running your home? Do you run your home well? And that's godliness. And those things are valued. And the people around you will notice that structure. And trust me, when you're raising kids at first, teenagers, they will buck the system. But you keep at it. You keep at that godliness. And in the right time, it will be valued, because God's word says that everything comes back around. So you hold on to it and you keep training and you keep going after it. So those are just some ideas of godliness. And then to end with, I wanted to just share some training goals. If you have the book on page 11, I shared what real training goals were for us to train spiritually. Number one, that was having quiet time, letting God be your coach. We're talking about that so much right now in Psalm 91, how we have to dwell and abide in the shelter of the Almighty. That means get in his presence, find your quiet space, find your girl cave, and make that a routine. I'm trying to help you create a routine in this season by developing daily Bible studies, by developing a calendar for you, by doing online Bible studies so you can create a war binder and start putting all your notes in there and have that. So I'm just going to be here to give you the tools, but you got to create that quiet time. And you've got to allow God to be your coach and use the resources that I share with you. Number two, run on the word and the promises of God. We can run in all directions right now, okay? Our attitudes can run in directions. Our emotions can run all over, because we are going to allow a circumstance to control us. No, by learning godliness, we're going to learn self-control, and we're going to learn to run out the promises of God so he can control and sustain us and give us security and rest. And that's what Psalm 91 wants to teach us, that when we abide and we dwell and we run out his word, we'll have security and rest, and we'll understand what God's doing in the circumstance. Number three is run in prayer. So important to lift up your loved ones in prayer. I shared in some of our notes for this month, I gave you a personal handout of Psalm 91 where you could personalize it. If you're missing that, please go over to heatherbaxter.com, go to my blog, and I think it's the first Psalm 91. There'll be some handouts for you. And I have, you can run out and read out loud Psalm 91. Number four is train with the team. I think it's important that you train with the team. Proverbs 27:17 says this: as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. So one person sharpens another. We need to lean into each other because we happen to share one body. When you're a team, like HB Bible Studies and Resources, that Facebook group, that is our community. That's our team. That's where we sharpen one another. We're like-minded, we're believers, and we need all of our parts to be functioning. We need to learn how to be godly and value things. And also, when you train together, you run easier. It's a better run. So here's my challenge. I am hoping that all of those that are watching this video are over on the HB Bible Study and Resource page. I'm asking that you would activate your involvement a little bit with that team. Start sharing a blessing every day. Share a word that's jumping out to you. Sharpen another person by what is happening in your faith. That's how we sharpen each other. We have to speak and share and virtually share. So I'm just hoping to see that we can kind of stir up that community a little bit. If you don't belong to HB Bible Study and Resource page, jump on over there. We're growing there and it's exciting. And that's where I post all the time. Everything that's uploaded freshly is over there. So I've always made resources available for you. You can go to my website for everything. You can go over to the HB Bible Study Resource page. You have YouTube. And then if you really want to know everything that's going on, follow me on Instagram Live, because I even show you fun things like the basic parts of my life everything that's going on. And so then the last thing in regards to training yourself to be godly is sharing your story with someone, which goes back to our community page. Sharing what God is doing in your life. Conversation helps all of those around you in their lives. That's why I love Bible studies. I'm so excited to get the Zoom Bible studies going. Those are going to be happening here on this channel soon. Right now I'm doing live YouTube, and I'm excited about that, but we're going to take it a step up, and I can almost have 100 people in a Zoom call for Bible study. So my goal and my vision is that grows to 100, and then we have to rotate the 100 people out as it grows. And so I'm very, very excited about that. Which brings me to number 6. The last thing I want you to think about in regards to training yourself to be godly is write a vision down and write a goal down right now. Write a vision and write a goal on paper and press into it. If something right now is not looking like it's going the way you want, it's the opposite. Write down what you hope to see in the situation that we're in right now. You need to be strong and you need to be audacious. That's what God wants you to do in this season. Be opposite of what we're all feeling, which is worry and fear and, oh my gosh, write down, okay, God, I see that we're going through this whole thing. Everything is being flipped upside down, but I still hope to see this. I may be laid off temporary, but I hope to see this. And so write down something. Stand on that starting line, start running out the things that I shared, and then write a vision and a goal down. If you want to know more about visions and goals, go to my vision class. You can find on heatherbaxter.com. Click free studies at the top. Scroll down and you'll see a vision series class. It's 6 weeks long. It's on the back, the book of Habakkuk, and it'll teach you to write your visions down and run with them. And it is absolutely powerful. Maybe this is the time during this quiet time that you set up a vision board, and I teach you how to do that in all areas of your life, personal, your financial, your spiritual. We talk about every area of your life and how to write a vision down. So a couple training goals here is number 1, spend quiet time with God. Number 2, run in the word and run in the promises. Number 3, run in prayer. Number 4, train with a team. Number 5, share your story with somebody. And number 6, write a vision down and make it plain on tablets. Write down what you want to see. So important to help you succeed and help you to train to be godly. When you're training to be godly, you're training to succeed in this life. A sentence I have here written in the book is, pushing with gritted teeth through the hardest miles of our journey, but we will run. And I'm thinking there's so many of us right now that are gritting our teeth through some of these hardest miles right now, and it's our personal journey, but you run. But you run. And so every single verse I'm teaching you is going to teach you how to run in such a way without complaining, but having a positive focus, focusing on faith and not fear. So be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow in our daily devotional. And also, if you do not belong to the HB Book Club, we launched our April book. I'm going on to the HB Book Club page right now, which is where all of our books are. We read a book a month. This was our book from last month. I want to tell you that I actually rated this a 7.5, and I have to take that rating back. This was actually a pretty darn good book, and I would have to say that right now, during what we're going through, if you're looking for a good book, this book is really cool. Now that I'm thinking about it and what we were reading to really push us through the season we're in, the crisis we're in, the pandemic we're in. Very, very cool. And so The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews, if you're looking for a book. We are now in April, and if you want to know what book we're reading in April, jump over to the HB Book Club page over on Facebook, and you can join and start reading with us there. It's a Christian-based book club, and we do monthly readings. So I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow in the daily devotional. Bye-bye.